Hello, my name is Bad News Harris, and I am going to show you how the timelines of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Daima are all technically correct. And it's all Trunks' fault. Alright, first, we're going to start off with future Trunks, okay? So far, so good. His timeline is the future timeline. We are not going to label this as the original timeline. You're going to understand that in a minute. Now, Trunks' entire purpose of going back was to fix what had happened in his timeline. All of the screwiness right here. But what happens is he accidentally, instead of jumps to his timeline, he jumps to this timeline. He's trying to go to the Android Saga here, but he gets to the Android Saga here. This time travel split right here is where we get the now current Dragon Ball Z timeline that we know of so far first. Now, he's done, he's delivered his news, he's traveled back into his timeline, which now causes more, all of the ripple effects and the timeline that we come to follow. Now, he jumps back again. We're not in this timeline anymore when we see him again. He's going to get to this Android Saga, which caused, DBZ, this one caused Dragon Ball GT, since Dragon Ball GT came to us first. Then he goes back again. Okay? So far, so good. Now, he's come back after the defeat of Cell. He goes back, he defeats the androids in his timeline, but, oh, wait. There's a timeline where Trunks has already beaten the androids. What about that timeline? That's the timeline that Perfect Cell, the one that we know of, came from. That time travel back caused Dragon Ball Super, which in turn gives us the blue-haired Trunks. Now, blue-haired Trunks. He tries to go back in time again. Oh, he's trying to go back to the Buu Saga, but just happens to land just past it in a Dragon Ball Super. Oh, look at that. Super. Now we go back again. Oh, mind you, what just happened? We started doing a lot of time travel here, but we haven't yet mentioned the time travel he does in Dragon Ball Super, which I think in turn causes Dragon Ball Daima. Because in Daima we see that Goma, Arinsu, and Degasu have the ability to rewind and watch the past events. And apparently Arinsu was a part of that now. And if she wasn't there, if we couldn't see her during all of the events as they were unfolding, when we had full views of the battlefield multiple times, including when Buu was repiecing himself together. If she wasn't there then, in this timeline, it had to have been future Trunks, the Dragon Ball Super Trunks, traveling back to cause that branch. So when we go to Dragon Ball Daima, it starts giving us all of the Dragon Ball Z details from the Buu Saga, and then branches into its own. Meaning, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Daima, and by extension, every universe in Dragon Ball Heroes are all technically correctly canon. Which also makes sense as to why Trunks is the central figure in all of it because he caused it. So, thank you for joining me. I understand that it was boring and convoluted, but I just fixed the Dragon Ball timelines for you, and you are welcome.